Have you ever experienced a sudden overwhelming fear that comes without warning and without any obvious reason? It's like a storm brewing out of nowhere, leaving you drenched in an unexplained dread. You might have been going about your day as usual, when suddenly your heart begins to race, pounding like a drum in your chest. Your breaths become shallow, as if you can't draw in enough air. You feel lightheaded, and an icy chill of fear washes over you. Everything around you seems unreal, distant. It's as if you're watching yourself from outside your own body. You might feel like you're losing control, or even worse, that you're about to die. This, my friends, is the face of a panic attack, a storm of intense fear and discomfort that hits without warning. If you've experienced these symptoms, you might have had a panic attack. So, what exactly happens in your body during a panic attack? Well, let's start by understanding the physiological responses that occur. When you feel threatened or excessively stressed, your body's automatic alarm system, the amygdala, kicks into high gear. This tiny, almond-shaped part of your brain is responsible for processing emotions, including fear. The amygdala signals the hypothalamus, which acts as a command center, communicating with the rest of the body through the autonomic nervous system. This system controls involuntary body functions, like heartbeat, breathing, and digestion. It has two components, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems. As the panic attack begins, the sympathetic nervous system stimulates the adrenal glands, releasing adrenaline into your bloodstream. This is the hormone responsible for the fight or flight response. Suddenly, you might feel your heart pounding, your breathing quicken, your muscles tense, and your senses sharpen. All these changes prepare you to either face the threat head-on or to run away from it as fast as you can. This fight-or-flight response is incredibly useful when you're in real danger. It's our evolutionary survival mechanism. But what happens when this response is triggered out of context, like when you're safe at home or in a crowded shopping mall? That's when it becomes a panic attack. Without an actual threat, these intense physiological responses can feel overwhelming and frightening. You might even feel like you're losing control or having a heart attack. It's not hard to see why, as your body is essentially preparing for a life-or-death situation that doesn't exist. And what about the role of the parasympathetic nervous system? Well, it acts like a brake, calming the body down once the threat is passed. But during a panic attack, this calming response is delayed, which prolongs feelings of fear and anxiety. So a panic attack is essentially your body's fight-or-flight response kicking in at the wrong time. Now that we know what a panic attack is, what causes it? Panic attacks can be triggered by a variety of factors, and it's important to understand that these triggers can vary greatly from person to person. One of the most common triggers is stress. This could be the result of a significant life event, such as the death of a loved one, a divorce, or losing a job. It could also be due to ongoing stressors like financial difficulties or work-related pressures. When stress accumulates, it can sometimes lead to a panic attack. Certain medical conditions are also known to be associated with panic attacks. For instance, conditions like heart disease, thyroid problems, and respiratory disorders can trigger panic attacks in some individuals. It's also worth noting that panic attacks can be a side effect of certain medications. This is why it's always vital to discuss any new symptoms you're experiencing with your healthcare provider. Substances can also play a role in triggering panic attacks. Caffeine, alcohol, and certain illicit drugs have been linked to panic attacks. These substances can stimulate the body's fight-or-flight response, leading to symptoms that mimic or trigger a panic attack. Interestingly, panic attacks can also occur seemingly out of the blue, without any identifiable trigger. This can be particularly distressing for an individual, as they may feel that they have no control over when a panic attack might strike. It's also important to bear in mind that just because someone has experienced a panic attack under certain circumstances once, it doesn't mean that those circumstances will always trigger a panic attack. The human mind and body are complex, and reactions can change over time. In conclusion, triggers for panic attacks can vary widely among individuals, and they can include stress, certain medical conditions, certain substances, or even seemingly nothing at all. Remember, panic attacks can happen to anyone and at any time, even without a clear trigger. We've talked about what causes panic attacks, but what effects do they have on your body? Panic attacks can have a profound impact on the body, causing a series of physiological reactions that can be incredibly distressing. The body's response to a panic attack resembles that of its reaction to a perceived threat or danger. This is often referred to as the fight or flight response, a primal instinct designed to protect us from harm. When a panic attack occurs, the body's adrenal glands release a surge of adrenaline, the hormone responsible for preparing the body to either fight or flee from a threatening situation. This adrenaline rush can result in an increased heart rate, rapid breathing, or hyperventilation. The heart pounding in your chest like a drum, the breaths coming in quick, shallow gasps. These are your body's automatic responses to what it perceives as a threat. This sudden surge of adrenaline can also lead to a feeling of unreality or detachment from oneself, a symptom known as depersonalization. Additionally, adrenaline can cause your muscles to tense up and can stimulate your nervous system, leading to trembling or shaking. You might also experience dizziness or lightheadedness, as the rapid breathing associated with panic attacks can change the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in your body. Another common physical manifestation of panic attacks is gastrointestinal distress. This can range from a simple feeling of unease in the stomach to more severe symptoms like nausea or diarrhea. The body may also react to a panic attack with chills or hot flashes, sweating, and even chest pain or discomfort. These symptoms can be so intense that many people fear they are having a heart attack or other serious medical emergency. The effects of a panic attack can be very frightening, but it's important to remember that they're not life-threatening. Despite their intensity, these symptoms are typically short-lived and will subside once the panic attack has passed. Understanding and recognizing these symptoms can help reduce the fear and anxiety associated with panic attacks, ultimately helping you to manage them more effectively. Panic attacks don't just affect the body, they also have a significant impact on the mind. When panic strikes, it brings along a whirlwind of emotions, most notably fear and dread. Imagine walking down a familiar path and suddenly feeling as if you're in a horror movie. Everything around you seems threatening, and you're convinced that something terrible is about to happen. This intense fear is often disproportionate to the situation at hand, yet it feels incredibly real. In addition to this fear, panic attacks can also lead to feelings of derealization or depersonalization. It's as if you're observing yourself from an outside perspective or feeling disconnected from your surroundings. This can be a terrifying experience, making the world seem unfamiliar and estranged. But the effects of panic attacks on the mind don't stop there. Over time, these attacks can lead to the development of phobias or avoidance behaviors. For instance, if you've had a panic attack in an elevator, you might start avoiding elevators altogether, fearing the recurrence of another attack. This avoidance can limit your life in significant ways, leading to missed opportunities and a decreased quality of life. Moreover, this fear of experiencing another panic attack can create a vicious cycle. You fear the panic attack, which increases anxiety, which in turn triggers another panic attack. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy that can be incredibly hard to break free from. And let's not forget the impact on self-esteem and self-confidence. Constantly living in fear of the next panic attack can make you feel out of control and helpless, which can chip away at your self-worth over time. Panic attacks can have a profound impact on a person's mental health, but there are effective treatments available. Cognitive behavioral therapy, for example, can help you understand and change thought patterns that lead to harmful behaviors or feelings of distress. Medications can also be beneficial. The key is to reach out for help and not let fear rule your life. Remember, it's not just about surviving a panic attack, it's about reclaiming your life from fear. Before we say goodbye, let's quickly recap what we've learned today. We started by delving into the sudden fear that encapsulates a panic attack, an overwhelming sensation that can strike without warning. We then explored the intricate science behind these attacks, understanding how our bodies respond to perceived threats and how this response can spiral into a panic attack. We discussed potential triggers, from stress to specific phobias, and how they can vary widely from person to person. We also touched on the profound effects of panic attacks on the body and mind, emphasizing the physical toll and mental distress they can cause. We underlined the importance of recognizing these signs and seeking help, as no one should have to face these episodes alone. Remember, if you're struggling with panic attacks, you're not alone and help is available. Don't forget to take care of yourselves. Bye!